Good morning and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I want to go over a quick overview of what is transpiring throughout the crypto market. We'll do this in about 10 to 12 minutes because I need to get my son to school by 8:20. Then I'm going to go to the gym. I'll do a short. And then we'll stay in touch throughout the day because this is going to be a pretty volatile day. As we can see, XRP is faring better than most of the market, which we always talk about when it's like this. When you see XRP bullish, a little bit in green with XLM, but everything else seems to be in the red. This is when we start to look at the fact that do we have a bigger market-wide come down happening? Is XRP running on its own right now? And is there going to be a further consolidation? I can tell you right now, in the last roughly 45 minutes, XRP went up from $2.38 while I was in the shower, and then it dropped down all the way down to $2.30 within a 15 to 30 minute candle. That's a pretty interesting drop. Looks like we're trying to finish off a further pull down. I'm circling down here near that fair value gap at $2.05 if we were to come down. So that is what I'm looking at this morning. We have this death cross confirmed in a 30 minute. We got the rejection at the 200-day initially. The hour, we got the death cross that were being rejected at the 20-day now, and we had an overzealous push up initially. 2 hourly, we're trying to work on this bearish cross, and if it gets rejected here at the 200-day, it would just initiate that drop down if we lose $2.30. So I've been trying to give these warnings out for, I feel like, a week or two now about this drop in the market. Even when it went up, I talked about unloading more stuff that I had outside of XRP and then to make an educated decision for yourself on XRP. I talked yesterday how I got rid of almost the majority of DGB when it made that push up because I'm simply not going to let the market dictate what I'm going to make. I'm going to let the market or the technicals tell me when and where to offload and re-upload. Right now we had an inverse head and shoulders attempt here. But that right side coming down here a little bit, that's pretty interesting with DGB. Like, I don't know if this is spelling the end of this, and now it needs to actually come down to this 9.5 where we targeted before, because that's a pretty big pull down here. 129 was a big indicator if it could have held, but it came right through there. Now we're down another 7%. It looks like XRP's just if I'm being honest, it looks like XRP could be lagging behind on this drop. And if you're looking to buy, I would say force, if you're waiting for this area, force XRP to break over 245 and pushing out of the pennant. Otherwise, you may have a better opportunity here or even farther. We've talked about this in length, but we have to start to, you got to start to make a plan here as XRP is starting to teeter on the area of, you know, like the downward spiral. Not saying that the pattern's over, but this looks like we could find ourselves into that deeper drop. We would have to lose this 200-day in the 225 to 222 area. But it all depends here because if this pulls out here, we could have a volatile spike. It's starting to show us the signs here that maybe we're starting to lose some strength here. And we're going to start to conform with the rest of the market. That 45 is pretty bearish. You had an inverted hammer candle, it looked like, but then it completely got invalidated. On an inverted hammer, you're not trying to make a new low on the next candle, which it did. So we'll see. This looks like a death cross, getting ready to just have that next drop. And we can do a preeminent measurement just based on, hey, maybe this is a bear flag, right? And the breakdown here at the 20-day, I mean, that gets you right down here to about $2.15. So this is suggesting that this next drop, we're going to have about a 7% drop at minimum. So that's what I'm seeing. Make sure that you watch this and you don't freak out, but make sure you start to plan for what comes next. Because if this does come down, the 15 starting to show that it's starting to reverse back down. If it does reverse back down, we talked yesterday about the 205 fair value gap. And we've talked about very deeply, if Bitcoin falls outside of the rising broadening wedge, can XRP hold? And now we're starting to come back down to that area. We're starting to come back down to that area. There's no doubt about it. That support structure is at 92,459. I really don't see a reason why it doesn't come down there. We've got the death cross in the 45 confirmed. You can even go deeper now. We've got the hour death cross. The 2 hourly with Bitcoin is about to confirm. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. So just Whatever you feel comfortable with, you make your own decisions. I am not a financial advisor. I can only show you what's happening on the charts because I don't want to be a financial advisor. I don't want to tell you whether to buy to sell, but I want to give you all the information so you can make that appropriate decision. Because right now, we're in that moment where if we have another drop down here, it's going to be about that 10 to 20% variety across the market. And maybe DGB is telling us something by being down another 7% today. You know, maybe it's going to show us something here and invalidate this inverse head and shoulders. And it's going to tell us maybe the market's front running nothing. Like I said yesterday, maybe the consolidation today is going to speak more of the fact that we're weak in some of these tokens. And I find it odd, though, that most of the tokens, ISO, IoT, doesn't matter. They're all falling with Bitcoin. The only thing that's holding above water right now, and it's starting to fade here, was XRP was up to $2.38. But as you can see in the last 40 minutes, it's dropped from $2.38 to $2.31. That's not exactly showing the biggest sign of strength. Now, it is running around the market right now. It's just we have to look to see if that's a validation to a breakdown. Because if it is, we're looking at about a 7% immediate drop. And then it's likely going to get worse from there. So my suggestion, if you're not in XRP right now, $2.45 if that breaks. That, in my opinion, would be a great spot to start to get into the market if it were to get above that area. And the only reason I'm saying that is because that would be a breakout of the pennant flag. And then if the pennant flag breaks, if you're not in the market, then you have a technical target. That first target and 280 is invalidated. Don't even have to worry about that anymore for the most part. But I mean, technically, if it ran out of here, I guess it wouldn't be. But the technical target out of a breakout of the pennant flag is right around $3.37 right now. Depending on where you break out, I've measured it for January 17th to give it a little bit of time to work until next Friday. But that's exactly what you'd be looking at. So let me do the intro because I got to get out of here soon. But good morning. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So what we're looking for XRP, if we're going to start this upward trajectory, we need to not fall out here. We need XRP not to fall out here. We need it to retake some momentum and get over $2.48 in the immediate short term. Otherwise, this is suggesting a possible drop here this morning. In the immediate short term, if this continues, would suggest the first drop would be to 214. Now, if we can reverse out of this and pull past $2.44.5, we could have some volatility to the upside. We just got to work against the wider market conditions. Remember, we went up to $2.38 already once this morning. So we'll see if maybe we have higher ambitions. Maybe we start running opposite. And this pennant flag can continue to run bullishly. But I tend to look at every angle. So we'll see. Can Bitcoin get hot today? Can Bitcoin put that reversal in and try to break up? Or is this just a grand scale liquidation here? And it's just going to continue to fall over time. Because that's certainly what it's starting to look like. Especially when it lost the 4 hourly. It's starting to fall down pretty quickly here. And then in the daily time frame, we've come back down through the 20. And now, I mean, if we do hunt back down, this looks like a classic head and shoulders. We talked about it yesterday, so there shouldn't be any surprises. And a rising broadening wedge. So we came up left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If that's a right shoulder, you would only know if that rising broadening wedge breaks out, unless it formed like a symmetrical triangle on that downtrending resistance and it ends up forcing it out. But that would be a kind of like our 2025 miracle if that case plays out, only because of what's happening in the broader markets. And it's one of those things. Do we think we're going to have a dump right before Trump gets in? Or do we think we're going to have a continuation out? XRP is the anomaly right now. So I keep saying, don't do anything inside the pennant flag. Let that play out and make it break down on you before you make a decision. Just like maybe you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know what to do. Let the patterns tell you what to do. If it comes all the way down to support, great spot to buy down here if it holds at 208 area, particularly 205. Or if you can get back, if we can get back over $2.44, that would be a buy signal if it can hold that breakout point, because that's breaking out of the pennant And then we know our target's $3.36. We have a short-term intermediate push that could be at $2.80 if this plays out. But as you can see, we're having some wild volatility this morning. So I'm going to be happy to watch this, see exactly how this plays out, watch the rest of the market and see if we have some kind of wild pullback. Because some things are anywhere from 5 to 10% down. Some are a couple percent down. XRP and XLM are the only two on my list that are showing signs of strength besides the XRP Bitcoin pairing. And then the other thing, as I have to leave now, but the other thing I want you to see on the way out is the USDT dominance about to have a nice push up? If that is, that could indicate a little bit of downward pressure, because then the USDT, the USDT, so the United States Digital Tether, the dominance, the USDT dominance, it's starting to possibly come back up and look for this retest around 4.98%. So we'll see if that has any validity. If not, and this starts breaking down again, it's more bullish for crypto. But if this pushes up, this is bearish for crypto. And it's come back over that resistance. So what happened to this? It's actually a little bit higher. Maybe it didn't come over it yet. It's supposed to be something like this. It did come back over it. So, I mean, it came over that resistance line. So if that's the case, the USDT might be speaking more to the fact that we could have a drop coming here as well. So, I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I appreciate each and every one of you. Pay attention to this update. Don't make any rash decision. If it breaks the pennant flag, that's one thing. If it breaks down out of the pennant flag, that's another thing. But we're clearly stuck within it right now, at least at this moment in time. So, pay attention. I hope this update found you well, and I'll see you guys later.